Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Subscribe if you're new. Yeah, that is the 10th word I've said, and that was definitely not 10 words. I need to shut up. But today we will be doing a story because I told you in the trick shot video with hand warmers, not the one that I did a year ago. So yeah, I don't want to hear little Timmy in the comments saying, I didn't hear it in the trick shot video. Alright, got it? Well, yeah, and while I'm saying this, I literally have a broken arm. Yeah. It's not really broken. We don't really know. I'm guessing it's like a sprain or a tear. But yeah. So let's get into the story. So how I broke my arm. And I actually broke it. Well, I didn't even break it in that. It was a green stick fracture. I don't want to hear little Timmy going crazy now. All right. So I was just having a good day, riding my dirt bike. And I was riding behind my dad. I asked him, can we race? So we did. And then we were done racing after that. We raced to like the stop sign. And then we turned around. And then my dad was still in the racing kind of mood. So he went like really fast in front of me. And then he... I'm stuttering. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, so he went in front of me. And at first, because he normally does this, but this time it was weird because a car already went down the road, so it was dusty, and I live on a dirt road. And my dad, he went in front of me, which made it extremely more dusty. And then I just couldn't see, so I was like this, and I didn't have goggles on with my helmet. So then I fell. I got a crack. And I was like going probably 20 miles an hour. I wasn't going that fast because I was having a heart attack because I was going like 40, and then I slowed down to 25 because my dad went in front of me and it was too dusty. But I didn't know that I was turned. So I started going this way, diagonal, and I went off the road. My dirt bike like did some sort of crazy move, like hey, it looked like it was in the Olympics or something because it did like some sort of flip, and then I was flying off, and I landed like this, like that. So, and then my arm went like forward, like this, and then I hope you guys can understand what I'm trying to say. But then, yeah, it's like this. And I went too far forward. And then I bent it. And then my dad turned around to, like, check on how I'm doing because my engine turned off. And then he said, oh, are you okay? And then I was like, my arm's broken. My arm's broken. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I wasn't like that. And it's actually the exact same arm as this. So yeah, and then he was like, okay, how are we going to get you back? Because he was on a 4-wheeler, and the throttle is with the right hand, and I broke my right hand, and, so I was like, oh shoot, how am I going to do this? And I was like, I can't ride my dirt bike back, my arm's broken, and how am I going to ride the 4-wheeler back? So then, and also, it was right before my stepbrother's, like, football game. So I had to, like, wait, I'll say that in a sec. Oh my gosh, I got a Chick-fil-A order. Okay, I'm sorry. I see notifications on my phone. My gosh, I'm so fat. I'm sorry. So it was like before my stepbrother Caden football game, and my stepmom was all the way in Mexico. So I was like, wait, what are we... Okay. Oh Oh my gosh, my ADHD's kicking in. So yes, she was in Mexico, and at this time, my stepbrother or my stepsister did not they couldn't drive. They weren't old enough yet. And my dad finally and I made the decision. I'll have to ride the four-wheeler like this, with my left arm diagonally going to the handle. And oh my gosh, it was a pain because we had to go a mile all the way back home, and then we drove all the way back to our house, and then I got in there. And I just went straight to my room, not saying anything at all. I just went straight to my room. And then I was just laying on the bed. I was just sitting there with the fan on full blast, and my arm was resting on a pillow. And my dad said, "All right, we're gonna have to take you to the hospital." So we did that day, and we went to the ER, some ER that was local kind of, and it wasn't too far, probably 15, 20 minutes. And we went over, and we got to the hospital, and oh gosh, ADHD is kicking in again. All right, well, yeah, I was just sitting in the hospital, and then it's kicking in again. So yeah, we went to the hospital. We went in, and I was in there, just hearing my boop, boop, boop. I don't know why, but I thought that it was just gonna randomly go boop, boop, boop. I don't know why I was scared of that. Every time I go onto a heart monitor, that just happens where I think that, and then this poor kid, he probably sounded around my age, and he was screaming, extremely loud, because he was getting, a shot because he got bit by a rattlesnake. And I felt so bad for that kid because, I might have had a broken arm, but, this guy has to get a shot, and you know, how the shots are bad. What am I thinking right now? I'm just thinking random things. So yeah, we finally were in there, and then they said that I have a green stick fracture, and they showed us the x-rays. But they forgot to show us one x-ray, which was very important. But they said that I'd have to get this thing called a reseating, where they would have to move, because my arm was like this. It was bent weird. And they're we were gonna have to push that down while you're asleep and do other stuff. And then, so yeah, we went back home, and it was so funny because that day I was we went to Taco Bell, and I was just shoving down tacos down my throat from Taco Bell. I was so hungry. I don't know why. I was also hungry today when I went to the doctor, because I literally got this last night. Well, if the video is posted today, it would be last night. I don't know. But yeah, so we finally made it to my house. I was just sitting there with some sort of, not cast, but it was it had ace bandages and all this stuff. It went all the way to my elbow. And it seemed like they were trying to bully me because they made my elbow go really far out. And I looked so funny. And then, oh gosh. I gotta sneeze. Okay. Oh, I don't feel it. Okay, I feel it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Why? Okay, so yeah, we were finally home. And then when my dad told me what a reseating is, a reduction, but I almost had a heart attack, because that's where they put you to sleep, and then they push your arm in. I already told you, but I didn't know. And then I was like scared, scared. So then I went brain fart. So a couple days later, we went to, it was like 3 days, and we went to this like, oh, I remember. We went to this like clinic thing, and because we got like signed in, and then we went to one, and and it was so bad. They said, nope, you're going to have to go to the ER, the emergency department that's nearby. So we went there, and I was so annoyed, bro, because I had to be in, like, this is where some kids literally die, and that just made it scary. And I was just, like, thinking I had to get a reduction. I had to be put to sleep. And I was so, like, scared to death, and, it sucked. But luckily, it was like a 0. It was like a million zeros and a 1% chance that I would like be able to not have like a reseating and go to sleep. But this one doctor pushed it in a little bit, like when I was in the like first ER, and I don't know. Oh, I wanna sneeze so bad. Oh gosh, it's about to. Sorry. Whoa. Yeah. So, we were we were sitting in there for literally 5 hours, and then they put on some cast, and they put this like stuff in my nose where it made me like feel all loopy and stuff. Made me just talk a lot, which I think just helps with the pain of them putting on the cast, because they also have to push it down. And it worked. So we went home that day, and I had a cast, but then we noticed and forgot it was summer, and we were going on this trip to a lake, and it was so bad because we went to the thing, and oh my gosh, ADHD. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. You can unsub if you want to. Okay, Jimmy, don't take that seriously. I know little Timmy on there is like, oh yeah, they're good now. Like, no, you're gonna subscribe right now, or you're gonna be in the ER. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna be in the ER like me. Okay. I'm kidding, Timmy. Don't cry, and don't call the cops, please. It would be the 3rd time this week. All right. Well, yeah. So we went back home that day with my cast, and then we noticed that I had a trip to a lake, and it was like not good because those casts cannot survive the water, and I love that lake trip that we'd always go to. Like, well, not always, like every year, yearly, and we were there, and it was a good time. And why am I acting like I'm at the lake? No, so we tried to find a way to get like a waterproof cast, and finally we found this thing like where you can put it onto the cast over it, and you can swim around. But then one day we did it, and it literally leaked, and it didn't work. So my cast got all wet and nasty. But I was fine after, like, it wasn't that bad. I think the doctors were just trying to scare me when they said, don't go in the water. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, we were there, and we finally found this place to go to this waterproof cast place that was also very close. And we went there, so yeah, we went there, and they finally put a waterproof cast on like a couple days before our trip. So yeah, I was able to do the trip happily, and it wasn't too bad. Well, actually, I had the waterproof cast, and then it was like 2 months. Wait, no, we went to this trip at the beach. And then after that, we went to a trip. Oh, yeah, now I remember. But we went to this trip to the beach that's also like every couple years. And I had the waterproof cast on, and it sucked because it started falling apart still, even though it was waterproof. And so then, why am I looking out the window through the camera? So I was there, and so I was there. So yeah, we did that beach trip. It was very fun. And we went back, and we were worried that I'd have to wear this stupid cast to our trip that's at the lake. And so then we had to like find something out. But we actually we kind of didn't, because then they were like, all right, it's time, you can take it off. We were taking off the cast, and we're putting on this a new wrist protector. And I was so happy. And the day that they took it off and gave me this new wrist protector, I felt like I was going to pass out when they took it off. Like my arm felt just so vulnerable, and like it was so weird. My lips were like completely white, and I almost like felt like passed out. But luckily, I didn't pass out, and we went home that day. And so then I had the wrist protector on. So we made it to the lake, and we had a great time there. Just some issues where like where my thing would get too wet, and it would drip all over in the rental house that we would go to. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing of my story of my dirt bike crash. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Remember, 100 subs, I'll tell you what happened with this arm. So yeah, please subscribe, or I'm gonna find your house at 3 in the morning, and like I'm gonna find your toes and turn them into chicken nuggets and give them to McDonald's so I can have a Happy Meal for once. So yeah. So I guess that means peace, and go click on that video right now. I'm going to be extremely angry.